Hey guys, this is Nick from th9, and today we're going to look at a Best of Clan Wars. This is a 2-star by one of our newer players, Fanatical. Fanatical seems like a really good guy. He's been a bit of a loose cannon so far. Uh, Before this absolutely killer attack, he didn't double check himself, and he went into another one half-cocked and got 0 stars. So this was kind of his redemption attack, and it was very well done. So first of all, let's take a look at the base. This is a pretty scary looking, pretty maxed out Town Hall 9. And Fanatical is, he's still a, I want to say he's about a mid Town Hall 9. It seems like he's got a lot of really good attacks up his sleeve. And so he chooses to use a goWiPe, which is good. Queen gives it a lot of power. Something that he ends up doing is he has a core team go into the middle here with some wizards, and that's good because from this point his wizards and his tanks are able to take out all of these troops, which is awesome. However, in this particular base, because the defenses are so deep, there's this outer ring. So there are multiple ways of trying to deal with this. You could try to do backside sniping with hogs or loons if they were all concentrated in one side, but they're not. So one thing he chooses to do is he sends a tank down each side, a tank with falling wizards. And so that does a good job of taking out all of these defenses. So in the end, he gets all the way to the other side, and then he runs into the fairly classic issue of the backside defenses are just pummeling his units. So these guys here, actually, it turns out there's some Teslas hiding in these pockets. Let me redraw that in a different color. The part of the base that finally takes him out is that red part right there. So I'm not quite sure there's anything he could have done about that. I suppose he could have tried to save some backside loons to go in. I'm not sure if he's got max loons or not. He could have tried to drop 2 or 3 to take out these guys, but it's a little dicey. I'm not sure that would have done much. Anyway, this was a really, really good attack, and let's see how he does it. So first of all, he uses Earthquake to go in. That was a really well-placed Earthquake because he was able to use it to get all the way from the outside to the inside with no need for wall breakers. So that saves him some army space. One thing that he does tend to do that I'm not a huge fan of is he drops all of his wizards at once. I would have preferred that A, he kept a couple wizards in his pocket, and B, he would have just dropped a few wizards to make the funnel and then send a couple down the outside with his tanks, but hey, it's good enough. Now, one interesting thing about this base is going into the base, I didn't really stop to do this analysis, there are several open spots for Teslas and giant bombs. Here, 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 etc., going all the way around. So I would have expected that the Teslas were closer to the core, because that's usually what people plan to do. So I would have expected that there were Teslas here, 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 and here. This guy threw me for a loop, and he ended up having his Teslas on the outside, so they're actually in front of each of these mortars. So that ends up being what takes out his outside tanks, because those P.E.K.K.A. are going along. That P.E.K.K.A. gets hammered by this guy. Later on, he gets hammered by this guy. P.E.K.K.A. down here gets hammered by this one, and then by this one. That's what ends up taking out his outside units. Again, not sure there's anything he could have done about it. I wouldn't have predicted that the Teslas would be there, and I'm not sure what he would have changed to get rid of them. Anyway, his units start going to the core, and meanwhile on the outside, you can see that this Tesla up here, this P.E.K.K.A. up here is pretty low health. He's in the red, but he does manage to survive for quite a while, and this Tesla down here is doing all right. He's about halfway health, so he'll stay on for a while. So back to the center of attraction, the core. He's got his, it looks like his golems are pretty much gone. Oh, there's one right there. Never mind, he's just attacking a wall. But yeah, it's at this point that his inner fighters start to peter out. The wizards get sniped off by other people, and so he's left with the queen, which is still a really, really big force to be reckoned with. And this P.E.K.K.A, who isn't going to last very long with all these defenses firing at him. And then his outside groups. So one thing that he did that I didn't really like about this attack, in addition to dropping all of his wizards here, he also dropped all of his P.E.K.K.A at the very beginning. So he ended up having 2 P.E.K.K.A going this way, 1 P.E.K.K.A going that way, and then he only had 1 P.E.K.K.A go to the middle. So I would have preferred to have just 1 P.E.K.K.A going that way, and then 2 P.E.K.K.A going to the core. That would have, especially since these Teslas ended up being on the outside, which he couldn't really have predicted, that might have given enough tanking that more of his wizards would be alive at this point. And really, like, 2 P.E.K.K.A on the outside is a little bit excessive. So, we're going to continue with our attack here. If this was a follow-up attack, I believe Fanatical was the first one to do this attack, but if it was a follow-up, what he might have done is just sent more P.E.K.K.A into the core, and on one of those tanking things going around the outside, maybe put his Barbarian King instead. So you can see those defenses on the backside are what killed him off. So again, like, you know, backside loons might have been an option. I'm not sure how much it would have helped because he didn't end up using a lot of his wizards. Saving more of his wizards definitely might have helped this attack, and watching to see where the P.E.K.K.A are going to go, and then dropping it so that more go in the core. But all in all, this is a really, really great attack. We're glad you're here, Fanatical. Welcome to Clan, and keep it rolling, man.